If you haven't subscribed, downloaded, and liked Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast, then your parents done did raise the fool. I'm Rock.
And I'm Archie.
Well, our opinions, they might not matter to some, but...
What are you doing in there?
It's a podcast.
Immature, crass, trashy. And those are their good qualities. These poor schmucks are a couple of IQ points away from eating paste. But when it comes to music, sports, and comedy, well, that's all they know. You're listening to
Not These Two Fucking Guys.
Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
You ever have a bad Uber experience?
Yeah, actually I did, right?
What happened?
I went to a heavy metal award show in New York City.
Okay, do tell.
All right.
With who?
My friend Turk.
Okay.
And some other jerk-off.
Ooh.
That, in case you forgot, and you might have forgot, that jerk-off was you.
Oh my God, I was so fucking hammered that night.
So we're on our way home from New York City. The Uber ride's like $3,000 fucking dollars. We had to pull over because somebody, the jerk-off I mentioned, by the way, that's you if you're not following the story at home, had to pull over on the highway and throw up.
Oh, I'm so sick.
I still can't get the picture of your ass crack hanging out out of my memory. It's really awful. I need to go to therapy for that, but that's another story.
Well, let me just tell you that I did do the excuse me, sir, my teeth are sweating. Please, I got it. And then I remember, I think he pulled over on Route 3.
Yep.
And I threw up, my guts. I threw up a little. I think I threw up a little eggplant parmesan. I don't know what it was, but it was disgusting.
And the Megadeth beer that we were just taking when we were backstage, that wasn't ours.
Let me just tell you, Dave Mustaine was not friendly. Just saying. All right. So what happened after that?
So drop Turk off. I get home. All of a sudden, next day, I get a $200 cleaning charge on my Uber thing. I'm like, what the fuck?
What was the best part? They sent pictures.
Yeah, they sent pictures. It looked like someone went to Wendy's, bought 2 fucking chilies, and just fucking painted the door with them.
Now, ready? In my defense, where did my throw up land?
You did not throw up in the car, sir.
I threw up outside of the car.
I'm thinking this Uber gentleman thought that we were 3 drunken schmucks, which we were, but still have the presence of mind to know that you did not throw up on the door. So put it this way. When you threw up on the door, supposedly, I still had a 40-minute ride home. Do you think I would have been like, excuse me, sir, there's a piece of gabagool fucking hanging off the door. So.
It was a great night, though.
Right thing. I had to go back and forth and fight. I'm like, this is absolutely insanity. But Uber did the right thing.
And if anybody wants to know where we were that night, you can go on Doyle's Instagram, check out his posts of him and photobombing the Butcher Babies, Christina Scabia from Lacuna Coil, and his girl Alyssa. We are the 3 schmucks way in the background.
We'll post those pictures.
Yeah, we'll post those pictures.
That's another story for another time.
Walk a 100-pound pit bull down the street. I'm a tough-looking son of a bitch, okay? I walk a 3-pound peekaboo down the street. They're looking for my husband walking behind me.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast. We have Donna fucking Vee with us. What's up, Donna?
What's up, you guys? I'm so pumped.
How are you?
I'm so pumped to spend the apocalypse with you guys. It's so nice.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here during it.
I can't even imagine what the fuck is going on in everybody's house, down your block, in the city, in the country. Like, it's fucking crazy what's going on.
Absolutely insane. My house is totally turned into Pee-wee's Playhouse because I can't handle not talking to people. my kid's like, what the hell, Mom? I'm trying to like go to college, like, cause she commutes and she's got like double the work. Everything's on the computer. And she's like, you're making so much noise. I'm like, I told you to live at school, dude. She's like, they would have sent me home. So.
Oh.
I tell you, it looks like you're not wasting a minute though. I mean, you're reading the kids in the morning.
Yeah, every day.
You're doing like your like Facebook Live at night. You're doing your podcast. I mean, it's pretty awesome that you're spending all this time like actually getting people's minds off of the terrible shit that's going on in the world.
Well, thank you. I mean, that's the only way I'm going to survive. And it's like, I've gotten so many like great comments and great feedback. I mean, I have like kids that I like a little girl I Zoom with after I read. And she showed me today that like her mom's put me in the schedule for school. It says Aunt Donna. I'm like,
oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty, yeah. Cause I never even went to college. I'm like, dude, I'm like reading and like the innuendos, it's like SpongeBob without the actual cartoon. I accidentally said the other day, like, I was like, yeah, guys, guess what? I'm not just an adult entertainer. I adult kids. I mean, I entertain kids. And like, all of a sudden I was like, oh, like, ooh, that's, I didn't mean it like that.
I'll have to edit that out because next thing you know, you're going to have the fucking FBI at your door. Say that again.
I know. But I meant because I'm like reading books to kids now instead of just like, you know, drinking with their parents at a friggin' bar at night telling jokes.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So we, Rocco and I, came across you at Tierney's when we went to go see our friend Sean Morton play.
Love Sean.
Yeah, do stand up, and
yeah,
one of the standouts. We were like, oh, look at this woman. She's pretty fucking funny.
You were awesome.
Yeah,
you were awesome.
Thank you. It was so much fun. That was my birthday show.
Yeah, I think you're. If I'm not mistaken, your mom was there too.
Oh yeah, she loves to be there. She loves it. It's so weird. Ego is so weird because all I can do is tell about like how she embarrassed me as a child and she's applauding. It's like, but I always make a joke. I'm like, Mom, if I ever say it off stage, you always are MFing me. You're like, that's not true. I swear to God, the minute I put a microphone in my hand and I talk about my mother telling like my conception story, she thinks I'm like a rock star. I'm like, this
that's
this
fantastic.
is like therapy worthy. I'm like, this is crazy.
It's weird because I have a cool relationship with my mom where like I could like pretty much say anything. But like again, me and Archie have been playing in a band together since we were young kids, you know, whatever. And when my mom would come to like select shows, I would feel like super embarrassed, even though like I could like say something whatever I want to her, but like if I play in front of her, I feel weird.
Yeah. Well, I didn't let my parents see me do stand up probably for almost a year when I started doing shows. And then it was, I host Thanksgiving Eve is like my holiday, meaning like the night before, 'cause I don't want to cook a turkey.
Yeah.
I'll order pizza, we'll play games and we'll drink.
Okay.
But like, don't give me anything really difficult. And I got asked to do a show. So of course, as a new comic, you feel like you're like a rock star. I'm doing Thanksgiving Eve. It's so cool. So I was like, you know what? I'll treat everybody to dinner. I'll have everybody there. And then I realized, like, at the time I was doing a joke about a penis transplant, like, and I had to say the word penis in front of my dad. And I was like, oh my God. It was like mortifying. Meanwhile,
Fantastic.
my kids were sitting like right in front of me with their college friends. And it was like the wave would go up like it was a football game. And I couldn't even like look at my dad. It was like the weirdest thing.
I can only imagine how I don't know your kids, but I'm saying like your kids' friends are probably just like you have the fucking coolest mom and she's a bug out. So
yeah, it's
sure you get
cool.
a lot of praise from them.
I do. They're like, Donna, and they call me Donna Vee. Like my kids will be like,
Donna Vee. So how long you been in stand up?
I've only been doing it like 4.5
Really?
years.
What made you get into this? What made you take the fucking
oh
leap?
God. I did like a New Year's resolution, believe it or not. Like I don't call them resolutions. I call them challenges. And it was something I just always wanted to do. And I was actually in Canada the first time I ever did it. I did like an open mic and it was pretty intense and I drank heavily. Okay. And I was like, fuck it. I mean, I'm not even in my own country. If I suck, what are they going to do? No one's ever going to run into me again. And it was pretty awesome. And it took me almost 9 months to just get up and do it again. And I don't know. I just wanted to do it. I want to try.
That's awesome. I've mentioned to Rocky multiple times that even on the podcast that like one time I would like to take like 6 months and write some just some material and just go up somewhere and just either let it all out or just fucking catch on fire. Who knows?
Go to Canada. You go to Canada.
Go to Canada.
It's like exactly. It's so easy. And they laugh at just. Please. I was berating them and I was like, my name is Jonna and if I'm from the United States of America and if I'm not funny, you'll never see me again. Is what I said.
That's awesome.
It was crazy.
When we saw you, I mean, it's so hard to believe you said you've only been doing it for 4.5 years. I mean, like you were like super comfortable and like looked like you were in your element. Obviously you have like all the energy. So like, I mean, I feel like it's weird that you didn't start it way before 4.5 years ago.
Well, I also, I'm a hairdresser. I own a salon for about 19 years. So I always tell people, I feel like I've been doing crowd work for 19 years.
Oh, you're people
like,
nice.
Just in the salon.
Oh, yeah.
And I just have practiced for a long time with that stuff.
That's cool.
You know?
Yeah. Are you local in the area?
Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Oh, that's our hometown, right?
It's our hometown.
No.
Rocco and myself grew up in Bloomfield, New Jersey.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm older than you guys, though. I grew up on West St. Ave.
Rocco is
I grew up right on High Street.
Shut
right
the front door.
Yeah. So I knew your brother Pete. He was a year or two older than me, I believe, but
that's right. You did say that.
Yeah, it's a small world.
That's so crazy.
I was part of the Bronev posse.
It's crazy.
No,
we are like a posse. Look at us. We're like a gang.
He's a couple years younger than us, but he looks a lot fucking older. So don't
my brother?
be fooled by it. No.
Go fuck yourself sideways, Rocco.
Because my brother, everyone's like, "Oh, is he your older brother?" I'm like, don't let him know that you said that.
And you said flattery will get you everywhere.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
But yeah, we're a North End gang. No one's ever heard of that.
No. In fact, everybody that from the South and all my friends used to come up to the North End to rob our shit.
Exactly.
I didn't know I didn't know there was a South End until I went to high school. I think I don't know if I was ever down there.
Exactly. And then it was like we moved to the South End after high school, and I felt like so badass. I was like, I feel so tough. And I'm like living off Grove Street. Like, honestly, it was like, I used to tell stories at night. Guys, I used to live on the North End where people could just walk around at night.
It was great.
We didn't lock our doors.
But there were no drugs up on the North End that you could like buy from in front of the church.
Only
That was South End stuff.
Now, speaking of Bloomfield, I see that you throw some shows at the Brookdale Tavern.
Yeah, once a month, third Wednesday of the month. I've been producing shows there. It's got to be I think it's like close to 3 years. They've been so good to me. They're so cool.
Food's great over there, by the way, just to say, the Brookdale Tavern.
Food's great. But food's great. Drinks are great.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. A couple of us met for some drinks over there. But I think the first time I was there was an Elvis impersonator there.
Yes, he's there all the time. And the best is I bust their chops. I'm like, dude, you put like Elvis impersonator and then you just put comedy. I'm like, can I get my name there? I fill your room like every month, man. I'm like, I'm just comedy.
So how'd you get into it? How'd you get into it over there?
Because, so this is cool. So I used to do an open mic out of my salon.
Really?
Because
That's awesome.
I would run a free open mic. People could BYO. And it was really cool. It was like once a month. And it was a lot. It was honestly just a cool way to get into it. And because there's so many younger people, because listen, I'm older than a lot of the people in like starting when I started. And they're broke. And they're going to these places. It's 2-drink minimum to go to an open mic. Yeah. I'm like, these guys are like scraping by. And they're hitting like 5 mics a night. So I was like, you know what? And then the other original intention is I know a lot of sober comics. And it's like, you know what it's like to be a sober comic? I do not. But like to have to go to all these rooms where it's like a 2-drink minimum and be around drinking. not cool. So I was like, you know what? I'll start it out in the salon. It was like not talked about yet that you could be BYO until like I saw who's coming in. And it was great. It was a cool mic. And then I went there first to try to make like a more, you know, like a mic somewhere where like there's food and drinks. And they had somebody go in to do shows, but it didn't work out. And I was like, just give me a shot. I'm like, I'm right down the block. I'm going to bring my people. And they were like, all right, dude, 3 years later, we fill the room like every month.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
Good for you.
Awesome.
That's a way to, you know, make your own way.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, it's not a bringer. I pay.
There you go.
Yeah.
We were actually so psyched because obviously Sean Morton, we talked about it before, speaks super highly of you, and was like, that's my opener. And we were planning on going to see you guys at TIFF's.
I know.
And it just sucks that life is canceled right now. Like, it really just sucks. Like it's tough.
It's so weird. It's like somebody hit the pause button, the wheel's spinning, and we're all like waiting for it just to like reconnect. And it's crazy.
But I don't think any of us in our wildest dreams thought that life could or would get like this. And listen, I get why they're doing it. It makes sense, but it's still a little freaky. You know what I mean? When you really can't leave your house or shouldn't leave your house. And, you know, and I think that, and I hope that people have a better appreciation for life afterwards, when you can actually like gather with people and hang out and go to a bar and go out to eat and, you know, that kind of thing. And so I'm hoping that this little pause, like you said, is going to make people, when we can go back out, go see comedians, go see bands, go support like local arts like that. And I think it will. I really do. So.
Yeah, I agree. I was talking to my team today, my staff. I don't like to say staff. It sounds like an infection. And I've said that for years. It's like weird. But there's this big, you know, controversy or whatever. People are like, ooh, you could deliver hair color to people at home. I'm like, no. I'm like, I'm not doing it. I'm like, we're on a pause. And I'm not gonna nickel and dime people for like to make $10 on a color. I'm gonna take this time to reinvent, recreate. That's what I'm doing. I said to my friend today, I said, you know, if the freaking dinosaurs had internet, I don't know why I just turned into a Brooklynite. If the dinosaurs
how you doing?
Had internet. Like maybe they would have saw it coming. But like I feel like that's what's happening. Those of us that are actually listening and are hunkering down in our homes and like pressing pause, you know, what is it? Stopping the curve or whatever, flattening the curve. I'm hoping that if you believe in karma, like the karma is going to be that we will be rewarded with health and with continuation. And it's crazy, man. Like people have been saying on Facebook and internet stuff for a long time that politics has separated us. Well, guess what? Now, what's separating us? Everybody's equal. I don't care how old you are, your color, your race. Everybody is susceptible to what's going on. And I don't care if you make $5 an hour or $100 an hour. There's nobody earning. I've never experienced a thought process, like you said, in my life where everybody would be even. Now we're all, guess what, ladies? I don't put that freaking pink hat on, but march for the same equal pay because men are sitting home getting paid the same as us. Nothing. And I will be the first one to say it.
Very true.
It's crazy.
Very true.
Yeah.
So what does it mean like for your business? You know what I mean? Like is it, like you said, everything's on pause. Like
I'm hoping my fish doesn't die in the fish tank. You know what I mean? Like I gave him
gave him a couple snacks. I'll be back. Don't worry about this. Don't worry.
Like seriously, I gave him one of those big patty. I gotta like sneak out in the middle of the day, put the wing on so nobody knows it's me. Go like throw another like bucket of food in there. Like what am I gonna do? It's a goldfish, right? Yeah. Right? But like it matters because everything matters. Everybody matters. But it's crazy. I'm not even doing my roots in solidarity with my clients.
There you go.
I mean, what the
act
heck?
of solidarity.
I look like a troll doll under this. My hair is like pink on the end, dark at the root.
That's funny because Rocky said he was just going to let himself go during this whole thing too.
That's it. I'm not doing my nails, not getting a mani-pedi. It's not happening.
Exactly.
Piece of shit.
Exactly. I love that you guys are doing this. This is great. I appreciate you inviting me.
No, we're honored to have you, and we're actually like super impressed by, again, like I said, what you're doing now about like reading the kids. You did a paint and sip tonight, where obviously until Facebook decided to shut you down.
Right.
Like watching your podcast. I mean, you do so much live content that takes so much balls to do that it's impressive. Like, so like we play in a band, right? We wouldn't just play live for an hour, like unscripted and even like this podcast, it's tough to do unscripted, and it takes a certain amount of obviously courage. You're super funny. We know that. But I mean, to keep people interested in it, it's pretty awesome. And it's definitely admirable.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I feel like it's like a piñata. Like you just hit the shit out of it and stuff comes out and you're like, what do I get?
Sounds like high school.
You know what I mean? Exactly. Well, dude, high school, I hid. I was like a late bloomer. I did not come out of my shell till I was like older. Seriously. Really? My people always use that that like coal under pressure becomes a diamond. Yeah. I like coined a different phrase. I'm more like that oyster that gets that one aggravating fucking piece of sand and you create a pearl. Right?
Nice.
And every pearl is unique. Everybody's story is different. Like for me, I got married young, went through a divorce. If I didn't go through that and have to raise 2 kids and be the example, like to say, well, I can't like fail. Now I can't fail. Like I got to show them how to not fail, be a badass mother, woman, person. Not even like I'm telling you guys, I'm not burning my bra. It's too expensive. Like I'm not wearing that fucking hat.
Donna, be honest. You left your bra at Fatso's.
No, I swear to God, I didn't even go to Fatso's. I think I went once because I was such a nerd as a kid. Like I was at the Loop Lounge.
There we go. I like that.
The Loop was the best.
Yeah, I mean, Arch like the Loop is cool. It was a weird joint, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was weird. I loved it.
So as far as your, I want to jump around a little bit. As far as your stand-up, where do you get inspiration from? How do you write jokes? I think it's crazy because I always I'm a big fan of. I don't know if you ever watched comedians riding in cars like Jerry Seinfeld.
Love it.
And my favorite part in that is not the fucking car. It's more about when he gets inside a comedian's head. That's what really interests me. So what interests me is that how could a comedian, what is a comedian? Everybody's got a different process, but what does a comedian do as far as I'm going to write word for word how I'm going to deliver this joke? I'm going to write a couple notes. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
how do you do it?
Yeah, this is where my mentor, Sean, I have to tell you, I have ADD. I mean, I'm sure you can't tell. But I write stuff over and over and over, but I have no plan set, which is why I I host a lot because I like the off the cuff stuff. And when I do sets, a lot of times I plan it off the cuff. I have standard jokes in my head that I know I wrote about dating things or my kids or whatever, but I'll never repeat the same set over, which is why I don't know if I'll never go beyond or go further or become famous or whatever. Cause I could never submit a tight 5 minutes because I don't got one. You know what I mean? For me, it's off the cuff, a lot of it, but that's what I love. I'll go into a club, New York Comedy Club. I was very lucky. I was co-producing a show with a friend of mine, Shauna Lane, who was a New York comic. And her and I, we met through another comic, Danny Cohen, who is incredible. He's funny as hell. He's crazy. I love him. And she was hosting at New York Comedy Club. And she said to me, hey, do you think you want to co-produce? Because I want to do sets and I love the way you host. I want you to host. Would you do it? Yeah, that's not a problem. And that was it was like a kid in a candy store. She's like, hey, can you do a set? I'm like, fuck, really? I'm like, you want me to do a set? I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't know if I can. But I mean, I do it. And Sean has pushed me to that. Like he's been pushing me for like the past couple of years when we met. He's like, I want you to host. And then that tips, swear to God, man, I was like, yes, Corona. Because he's like, I want you to middle. He's like, you guys do 15 to 20 minutes. And now I'm like, we're quarantined, dude. I can't do it. I was like, that's awesome. Making the quarantine work for me.
I can't fathom how somebody does 15 minutes, 20 minutes, when you think what really has to go into 15 to 20 minutes, like Kevin Hart doing a special for an hour to make someone laugh their ass off for an hour.
That's such
And then
talent.
I think of a Mitch Hedberg or a Rodney Dangerfield, 50 to 100 to 200, 100 jokes within 25 minutes. It blows my mind.
Crazy. It blows my mind. I still watch comics and go, how? But I can't watch a lot of comics because I'm always afraid through osmosis, I'll get like a joke in my head or it'll trip me up because, you know, I can say whatever I want. It's kind of like trying to spice up your love life and watching porn. You're like, I can't do that. Like, I can't shoot ping pong balls out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't allow myself to set the bar at somebody else's level. I just have to be myself, and either it's good or not, which is why, in a weird way, I'm digging this whole live content. Like, I'm getting to showcase what I can do and who I am. And I mean, my dream has always been to be either like on SNL or Please. I mean, it's amazing what they do, but it breaks my heart when I see them reading off a cue card. Obviously, I'm like, no one has figured out how to fucking move a cue card, like, so that it doesn't look like you're looking away from the camera. Like, that's so frustrating. You're SNL. It's like, I'm in my basement with no script and just like shooting shit out. And I'm like, it's practice. I feel like I'm at the gym when I'm doing this.
I told my wife earlier today, I said, there's a lot of bad that's obviously coming out of what we're all going through right now, but there is going to be a tremendous amount of good that's going to come out.
Totally.
With people that are creative, that people like, just when you just, I this was the first day I actually didn't watch the news. I did have a little work today, but like watching the news, like you see people all around Jersey, like, oh, we're making masks. We're doing this, we're doing that, we're helping out the cause, but right. Not even that. Then people, Livingston, I think, did their prom at home. They all had their prom. Like,
really?
They all. Now I don't know if they used Zoom or if they used, I don't know what they used, but they simultaneously.
You weren't the fucking engineer, that's for sure.
You motherfucker. There's, you know what? There's 3 people on this call, and I like 2 of them. I'm just letting you know that. But they simultaneously came in and had their prom. But
that's the coolest thing.
There's a lot of creative.
Now that you told me that, we're having a prom night one night when fucking Facebook lets me back on.
Yes.
That's fantastic.
It was crazy. It was like espionage tonight.
What happened?
I was doing a breathing exercise, getting people to like drink out of their cups. Like, mine says Zen. I was trying to not like get people freaked out. I'm wearing a wig that looks kind of like I don't even know, like, what's the guy's name that painted the happy little trees?
Bob Ross.
Yeah, so I look like Bob Ross meets like a Bad Home Perm meets Jerry Curl, like meets like Coming to America. I don't know. But it's like, honestly, I was just doing my normal thing. And all of a sudden, I was like, ooh, I'm noticing that. And I said this to Sean. I called Sean. I'm like, did you notice that anytime you reach an hour's worth of content, right? Because I'll read to the kids in the morning. I'll get to like 50 minutes. It's fine. As soon as you hit that hour mark, it says low connection, right? And then like a couple of seconds later, it comes back on. And then people are like, oh, your mouth is not matching up to the words. You look like, you know, like a Kung Fu movie or something, right? So exactly. So I'm waiting for Mothra to show up. And I'm like, no, you know, and it's like crazy. So I was like, this is really weird. I wonder if they're trying to suppress the content because it's free. We're not paying for it, whatever. Tonight, I was like 18 minutes in, maybe. And all of a sudden it said low connection. So I'm like, let me go have like an extender, you know, like I bought like one of those Wi-Fi things because my house is old. It's got like that whatever material in your house that blocks Wi-Fi, a cereal box, I don't know. And so it's like you can go and get Wi-Fi anywhere except for if you walk down the street. It's like not everybody's Wi-Fi makes like Wonder Twin Power Wi-Fi. I don't get it. It's like it doesn't make any sense. I go get it. I come back and I got like 9 texts. What happened? You froze. What happened? You're gone. I tried to get it back and it would not get back. So that's why I was like, oh, I got to reach out to you guys. Yeah. And it was crazy. Taken down. It was like Red Dawn.
Conspiracy theory.
So what do we have in the horizon for you? Like what? We don't know obviously what's going on. When are we going to get back to life? But do we have like some shows lined up? Do we have anything?
I had one of the biggest shows I'd ever planned, which was going to be at a restaurant in Belleville, which sounds like the antithesis of biggest shows, right? Oxymoron. But I booked a show for the Hyacinth Foundation, which they raise money for like AIDS research. And it was, Julia Scotti. I booked Julia Scotti. So I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah.
She's the first, she was on America's Got Talent, trans comic, trans female, whatever. She's, she is the woman. She's a comic. She's amazing. I freaking booked her. I felt like the coolest thing ever. And that was supposed to be May 30th. And now it's like, honestly, I have to call our agent again because I don't even know if we're going to be out from this bunker by then. Like, there's so many mixed messages. But as soon as we get done, the grind is back. I cannot wait to get out, do fundraisers. Yeah. I do a tremendous amount of fundraising with my comedy. Great. Because up until a week ago, I was working full time in the salon I've owned for 19 years. And I figured I make good money that way. I'm too lazy. I'm not running a 5K. So it's like, if I'm going to make money,
there's Rocky.
I don't want to do it. I don't want to go on that breast cancer walk. I'll raise money through comedy because it's like everybody runs and walks. I'm not doing it, man. I don't even get up early. So
tell us who some of your influences in comedy are.
Stephen Wright.
My favorite. Man. All right, you won me over already.
See, that was my first influence ever in comedy. Everybody else is carrying around a boombox and listening to tapes of music. And I had his album was I Have a Pony. Yes. I listened to it over and over and over. As a kid, it was the coolest thing. And I was so in love with just his wit. And I just got him. I got it. But I'm just too hyper. That's not my style. To talk that slow.
He's dry. He's got a monotone type, right?
Yeah. Maybe when I hit menopause, I'll be there. Not yet.
Wasn't he the fucking guy on the couch?
Yeah, he was the guy on the couch in Half Baked.
In Half Baked. That's right.
That was him.
That's right. Yes.
I love him.
One of my favorite jokes said, don't quote me on it. He was like, I sprayed spot remover in my apartment. Now I can't find my dog. Yeah, he's
like, it's a small world. I wouldn't want to paint it.
Yeah, he's awesome, still awesome. He was actually Arch talked about Mitch Hedberg before. It's one of our favorites, and Stephen Wright was Mitch Hedberg's idol. It had the same kind of the same cadence, the same of Stephen Wright is not necessarily a storytelling comedian, but he'll hit you with joke and it's observational and it's super dry, but it's so fucking funny, man. He's
so funny.
I felt like me and my dad always bonded over him. It was always a good source of fun for us.
Me and my dad too. I took him to see him. He was at the Wellmont, maybe gotta be at least 7 years ago. I took my dad. And it was so funny because my dad is he was actually my first influence for comedy.
Nice.
And you could not have a conversation with my dad without him saying, did I tell you about the one, even today, he said to me, did you hear about the guy that took a poll? He goes, he killed 90 people because they were under that 10. And I'm as I'm trying to explain to him how to get on Facebook, he's like, are we friends on Facebook? I'm like, Dad, we're friends. I was walking around Nutley today, up and down the hills to get some exercise, like flailing my arms going and like seeing people. And they were like looking at me. I'm like, I'm on the phone with my dad explaining Facebook. And they were like, oh, I get it. It was like crazy. But my favorite, Jim Brewer.
Oh, he's hysterical.
Nah, he's awesome.
I love him. I have his email address. I've met him a couple times. I have pictures with him. Like, if I could be anybody, except for I curse a little bit more than him. Well, all I have to do is say one curse, and it's more than him because he's squeak clean. But he is, to me, he's fascinating.
He is.
The way he tells jokes, stories, he is, and I've seen him so many times live. And that is what I appreciate, is that he doesn't necessarily always repeat himself. So I feel like he gives me permission to do that, the kind of comedy I'm comfortable with, opposed to, I mean, I see comics and kudos to them. I'm not putting them down, but I could go see a comic and you see the same set like for every time. Great for them. That's amazing. Consistency. I love that. But there's something to be said about some, like the type of a Jim Brewer, like that you can go and you're on the edge of your seat because you know there's a thread of something familiar, but it's not the same. It's like your grandmother's cooking.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know?
Listen, it definitely, if every set is unique, like you said that you do, where you don't necessarily have a, you know, okay, I'm hitting this joke, this joke, this joke, this joke, this joke. Obviously it's like watching something live than watching something taped. Like you don't know anything could happen. So
exactly.
I was on a plane back from Vegas, and there was 6-7 people on the plane, and I'm walking to my seat, and
we had a private jet, big shot.
Suck it. There was a.
Was this like last week?
No, this is a couple. This is
seriously
3-4 years ago.
Corona Flight 101. They're like, please don't use if the air mask comes down, don't use it. You'll infect the plane.
Yeah, pretty much.
Brewer was sitting probably, you know, like, he was sitting in coach, just sitting there. And if you've been to Vegas for a weekend, you know, you just, on the flight back is not like the flight going there. Okay. So I'm walking through like a zombie, and in my peripheral, I look to the left and I see Brewer, and I look at him and I just go, and he looks at me and goes, and that was it. And I just sat down. I was like, that's cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I saw him at the Stress Factory, obviously years ago, and like he talked to us like a couple minutes afterwards. Like, totally cool guy, totally cool.
Well, if I could gush for like a hot second,
yes, please do.
So I was at the Wellmont Theater. It was a Friday night. He was performing. I had no plans, and my friends at that point, this is a couple of years ago, were tired of me comedy. Yes, we know, Donna. And I'm like, whatever. So I bought a pretty expensive ticket, sat by myself, and because of knowing enough about comedy and how somebody ends their set, he talked about, which I thought was the cutest thing ever. He's like, okay, so people ask me all the time if I'm going to do like autographs and take pictures, but I have a merch table. And if you want to come, you can buy my CD, you can buy my book, and I'll autograph it. And if you're looking for a picture or you're looking for an autograph, he goes, I'm charging $15. You'll get a CD or you get a book. Because like basically he's saying like, you're not going to you just got to buy something to get it. So I got his book. I got it autographed. I have ADD. I still have not finished it. If it was on tape and it was his voice, maybe I'd listen to it. But when I met him, I said to him, Jim, I said, I wanted to let you know I admire your comedy so much. You're amazing. I think you're great. And I'm a newer comic. And he looked at me with genuine. And he goes, hey, I'm going to see you again one day. I bet you I'll see you again. And literally a year later is when I opened for Julia Scotti at the Wellmont Theater. And I wrote my jokes. Like I literally wrote my opening. I didn't know what I was going to say. I was crapping my pants. Like there was a bunch of comics and it was me and then Julia. And I was like, dude, what do I say? So I stood up on the stage of the Wellmont Theater and I was like, I can't believe I've been here to see my biggest influences: Stephen Wright. I've seen Andrew Dice Clay. I've seen Jim Brewer. And like the couple weeks before, a friend of mine asked me to go to church there, and I was like, I gotta try it. So I like found out what the pastor's name was. I Googled it really quick. I'm like, Pastor blah, 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 blah. And the place went nuts. And I'm like, I actually might go to church more just so I can sit up there and look down there and go, I was on that stage. So then I saw him again, and I was like, you know what? We manifested it. And he believes in that, which I do. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, we manifested it. You said that you were going to see me again. I go, I'm a step closer. I was on the stage that you were on. I got to tell you, it was the biggest honor ever. Even if you weren't there, the fact that I stepped on the stage and performed from where you performed, I know I'm a step closer. And he was like, do you have my email address? I'm like, no, I do not. And he goes, take it down. And he told me, now I'm not going to tell you, but like, I'm just going to say this. He guy was like, Jim Brewer, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, wait, say it again. He goes, okay, Jim Brewer. Like, he looked at me like, dumbass, I'm telling you in code what my email is. And I was like, oh my God.
That's fantastic.
I was like fangirling.
That's awesome.
It's crazy.
That's a great story.
Thank you.
Speaking of the Wellmont, Archie and I in our band, we've actually had the fortune of opening up for like bigger acts at the Wellmont 2 times. We actually opened for Rat twice.
Really?
Yeah. And
for Rat?
For Rat, yeah.
That's
round
awesome.
and round went.
We get the same feeling as you. You know, we went to high school fucking 3 blocks away, and like the Wellmont is the Wellmont, and who's been on that stage, and so like we totally get like, I mean that had to be an awesome feeling for you, where it's just
chills.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it never gets old. It never gets old.
No. And to be in an actual green room and not the back of a pizzeria.
Yeah. Imagine that.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
Talk to us about your podcast. Very entertaining.
Well, the funny thing is that normally the podcast I do is once a week with another comic, Tracy Locke, and we do something called Girls Gone Green, and it's because I'm a Jets fan. Sorry, I don't know if anybody's a Jets fan.
We're not going to hold it against you. Go ahead. We're not going to hold it against you.
Wait, who do you guys like?
Giants.
Cowboys?
Giants.
Yeah.
Giants?
Yeah.
Both of you guys are Giants?
Yep.
All right, okay. I get it. We share the same stadium. I think it's called Jet Life Stadium, though.
Oh.
But just kidding. I'm sorry about Eli. No. And
I'm sorry about your franchise.
Exactly. Hey, listen, gangrene rhymes with quarantine, so who's closer now?
That's fantastic.
But it's crazy. So we met in a writing class. She's a warm-up comic for TV. I mean, she's like, forget it. It's her and Sean are like my comedic parents. And she's just amazing. Tracy Locke. She's all over the city and she's everywhere. So I opened for her and I opened for Sean a lot. And so then like my basement literally looks like this, like Pee-wee's Playhouse.
That's fantastic.
I mean, I know you guys can see it. Because I mean, I have like everything down here. I have rubber chickens. I got like, I got bells. I got tamarines. I got Amish nutcrackers. I have everything, right? And it's like we started doing these parodies, and we were in the newspaper the year that the Eagles made the Super Bowl. We're on YouTube. If you go to Girls Gone Green, we did like. She's an amazing writer. Like I'm goofy. We're like Lucy and Ethel. Like I'm the Lucy, I guess, because I wear the costumes. I'm crazy and I don't care. I have no care in the world. But she's like very brilliant when it comes to like writing songs and parodies. So we got picked up and noticed by the Philly Intelligencer or whatever it's called. So that was cool. And then, but when this whole thing happened, I literally just felt, I just got to talk to everybody and make people laugh. So every night, like I go on at 8:00. It started at 6 doing a happy hour and then 8. And then I'm like, I should be like just getting ready here. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And then Sean started doing it consistently. We like started a lineup. It's like old school. Like, remember when like you were young and you used to like know that Jeopardy was on and Wheel of Fortune or whatever. Now it's like Sean Morton and Donna Vee, and it is what it is. And it's like fun as hell. So
I think you guys are Sean and you are definitely providing an awesome platform for people to. I mean, again, it seems like there's no good news coming out, right? And it's a time of uncertainty, and I think everybody needs that what's going to take you away from regular life, suspend your disbelief.
Yeah.
And to be able to go out, and again, we admire it 100%, be able to go out there and just kind of, ad-libbing for a better term, right? You may have your bullet points you want to hit, but I mean, you guys it's no script. It's on the fly. It's putting yourself out there. It's really amazing. And it's much appreciated. Say that much.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that because, I never want, I think about it every once in a while. I don't want people to think it's shoving myself down somebody's throat or I'm trying to do it. It's just as much for me as it is for everybody else, and the sense of mental well-being. And I don't watch TV. I've been home for the first time in my life, no work, not on a vacation, for 19 years. I've called out sick one day, literally in 19 years. This is a lot. So, but I love Halloween. It's my favorite holiday. And I save costumes. I have wigs and outfits people have not even seen yet. I have a full gorilla suit. My plan tomorrow was to dress up as Pee Wee Herman because I was supposed to go to Pee Wee with Sean. But now I'm doing Girls Gone Green. So I might do it Thursday because I want to be able to do a whole thing. Now, mind you, not the hottest thing for a girl to do, dress up as Pee Wee Herman because it's weird, but
I'm sure there's some
I'm not looking at that.
I'm sure there's some chat groups out there that might some
maybe
fetish.
Wait, I know we're doing only audio, but I have my popcorn bucket and this is me as
Holy
Pee Wee.
shit.
It's
oh my God, that's fucking fantastic. That's fantastic.
The first time I ever dressed as Pee Wee Herman, I was in beauty school. It was 1990, and it was the year that he got caught in the movie theater. And I love Halloween, so I was I don't like to just get generic costumes. So I went to a thrift store and literally built the entire concept around finding a gray suit. And then I was like, oh, that's what I'm doing. But I wasn't 21 yet. So I couldn't go to bars. Everybody I met was if you were at a bar, you'd win first prize. I'm like, but I don't. I didn't have fake ID. I was such a nerd, man. I was such a dork. So then I recreated it and did it years later, and it went over really well. And it's fun because I couldn't use the same suit. Because do you guys remember in Living Color, Fire Marshal Bill?
Yep. Hell yeah.
So the next Halloween, I took the gray suit, took it out in the yard. My mother was like, what are you doing? I was burning it and stomping it out. And I went and got I got rain boots and put duct tape around it. I got men's big galoshes, put it over my shoes, bald cap. And I was like, well, let me tell you something. And I was it was awesome. It was freaking
Donna,
awesome.
You have got a tremendous light within me that I see, at least I'm glad I get to do a little video with you.
I think once she breaks out of her shell, she's going to be just fine. What do you think?
Yeah. If she could only just let it go a little bit, just come out, Donna. Yeah.
I know.
No,
I'm so sad about the paint and sifting, but this has been the highlight of my quarantine, you guys.
Hey, listen, we can't thank you enough. I think that this was pretty fucking awesome for you to join us. I mean, we're fairly new, right? And we're trying to do something here, and music, sports, and comedy, and we wanted you for comedy, and we're so happy that you came aboard and did this interview with us.
Thank you so much.
Is there anything else that where could people find you? Where for everything? Please just throw it out there.
So if you go on Facebook and you go on Donna Vee Comedy, totally, that's awesome. You can go to Girls Gone Green on Facebook, and you can go to Donna Vee Sells, which you guys, if you want to spell it, you can, but you can find it on Donna Vee Comedy. I have a website, but the person that updates it for me is one of my employees because I'm totally not good at computers. But if you go to Donna Vee Comedy, as soon as we get a handle on things, I'll update my schedule because right now it's got like shows until the end of March, which are not happening. And YouTube, Donna Vee Comedy. And I try, as long as I don't get shut down by the almighty Facebook, to save all the stuff I record. And I post it there. So it's there for like, it's obviously not live there because I don't qualify yet to get live on YouTube. I don't know how you do that. I don't know what Wizard of Oz you got to talk to. But, right now I'm just trying to like post and repost. And honestly, the response from the kids in the morning gives me a reason to wake up and get in those crazy unicorn pajamas. They don't judge when you don't do your hair. I'm reading these books to them that I used to read to my kids. So it serves a purpose for me. My soul gets fed. It's like, it just feels good to like have a reason to wake up, not lay in bed till like noon. And then at night, I close my day out with a shower, get drunk with you guys on Facebook, and then I can sleep. It's like, honestly, that's how I'm getting through my quarantine.
Great. That's awesome.
Well, listen, you're doing everyone a great service. We appreciate it. We will make sure that we blast all of your socials on all our social media, and
I will do the same.
Super
you guys, you're so cute. You're so sweet. And Bloomfield, what up,
She's not talking to you, Rocco, by the way. She's not talking to you.
Listen, he loves Stephen Wright, and you saw Jim Brewer. I mean, this is like a throuple. We're a throuple now.
That's awesome.
Next thing you know, all three of us, maybe we'll go get like a cinnamon roll at Bud's Deli.
Okay. Oh my God.
With that being said,
and then we'll go get we'll get a sub down on Bloomfield Avenue at
Lenny and John's. Yes, let's do it.
Yes, we'll split a tuna sub.
Yes.
Where they take tuna fish and they put it in a blender.
And putting a little bit of breadcrumbs in it. It was good. It was fantastic.
It was great. Great. You guys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Donna.
So much fun.
You have a good night. Stay safe.
You too.
All right.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
That interview was awesome with Donna Vee. So lighthearted, funny, bubbly, doesn't take too much seriousness into all this crazy that is going on, like me and Rocco. This interview was recorded a little while ago just to keep you up to date with Donna Vee. She is still reading from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. at Story Time with Donna Vee. You can catch her on Facebook. Her salon in Bloomfield, New Jersey, Salon Gossip. You can reach her. I think it's salon-gossip.com. She's open now Tuesday through Saturday. Check the website for hours. And you can check her out at Donna Vee Comedy. See where she's going to be possibly performing, any info that she has, and see how she's doing. She was an awesome guest. I can't wait to have her on again because it was so much fun. So with that being said, Rocco, my man, Pots and Pans, is there anything you want to say to the people?
If you're not out there hiding and your vote you're still deciding and realize we make about as much sense as Joe Biden, then you're listening to Not These Two Fucking Guys podcast.
We out.